to another episode. This one's going to be epic, and today we're at Stockton Beach, baby!
Yep, as the Butler said, we're at Stockton Beach. So we're going to chill here for an hour or so. We're going to wait, there's a pinch point down the beach. We're going to wait for the tide to come up. We don't want to get the car in the drink. So we're going to just cruise here, have some lunch, have a fish, and then we'll wait for Beyond the Concrete and Lou that are going to join us shortly. Right, so we are a bit on the conservative side. We are going to hang around here and wait for that tide. And the reason being because we have been in a drama like this before where we were bogged for 10 hours, about 4 hours before the high tide, and then the tide came up. The car was in the drink for 3 hours. God knows how it survived. Yeah. Very similar to scenario to today, wasn't it?
I'm telling you, no matter how much you don't believe me, but I'm telling you, there was so much swearing. It was the most. It was like I never heard that much.
There was a
swearing.
lot of swearing. It's a pretty stressful situation. It's not fun watching your car in the sea for 3 hours. That was with Beyond the Concrete on a similar trip actually, where we got here a bit before him. It's really soft sand, and we had a real drama, and we're not going to have a repeat of that today. So we're going to sit up here way above the high tide mark in the dry sand. We'll wait for that tide to drop back, and then we'll head back. We'll probably do some forward driving, some beach driving, and then we'll head to our campground. I'm going to make some lunch, and before I do that, I'm going to do the most important thing, and that's get the K-on down. Right, we're going to finish our lunch, enjoy our lunch. In the meantime, we'll roll the clips from this morning on the way down at Fightertown at Williamtown. So it's taken a little bit longer than we thought for the tide to drop, but it looks like if we time it right, we should be able to make it in between the waves. Let's go.
I got an F-16.
Right, so we're now bogged in a bit of an awkward position actually. Yeah, so I sort of got stuck in that hole. So what we'll do, before I get too carried away, the first thing I'm going to do is just lower the tyre pressures down to 10 psi. That'll make a big difference. And then what I'm thinking is, if I can just wheel it back, and then I should be able to drive out through there. That's going to be the plan anyway. So I haven't dug myself in too badly at the moment, so let's see how we go. Right, so we've arrived at camp, but before we set up, I'm just going to quickly talk about that recovery. So what happened was I came down a dip and then I sort of lost the back end in a bit of a hole, and I could feel it starting to slow down, and the minute you feel like you're bogged, it's best to stop. Because if you keep pumping the accelerator, all you're going to do is dig yourself deeper. So I always try to avoid using snatch straps. That's really my last resort. So what I tend to do is start at the easy end, and the easy end is always tire pressures. It's amazing how much difference just dropping a few PSI will make. So I dropped mine down this morning to 15. They'd crept up a bit during the days they warmed up. They got up to about 16, 17 PSI. So first of all, I dropped those down to 11, and then it's really about elbow grease with the shovel, getting in, making sure that all the material, in this case sand, cleared away from the belly, wheels nice and straight, and then just with the max tracks it was really easy. I just drove out. Had I have kept pumping the accelerator, it would have dug itself much deeper, and it would have just been much more of a drama. So if that didn't work, then the next thing then would be to try and probably use the winch. The winch is a lot safer. It's a much more constant sort of load than a snatch load of a snatch strap. On your own like that, we'd actually got split up at the time from Beyond the Concrete, so we didn't have very good radio comms just because of sort of the dunes, in the depressions of the dunes. So it's pretty much on my own at that point. But what you could do is take the spare wheel off, dig a big hole in the ground and use the wheel as an anchor and pull yourself out on the winch. So that would probably been my go-to. Had I have had another vehicle, I would have tried to winch off of that vehicle, and then if that didn't work, then it would be the snatch strap as the absolute last resort. Right, we're going to try and nail ourselves some breakfast. If not, apple pie's on the menu again. Apple pie it is.
So Lips is just warming up the pie for breakfast.
So it looks a bit funny because we did run out of pastry last night, but it is good apple pie. Look at it, it's got no lid on it. We need to put some on the top as well. It's not quite there. Right, there's nothing better than apple pie for breakfast.
Yup.
What do you reckon?
It's true.
Let's get rid of this lid first. Yeah, that's warmed through. Right, no laughing please, it does look funny, but I can assure you that it tastes amazing. We just ran out of pastry, as I said. Here, Butler.
I don't know if we know if they're laughing, but...
There's pastry on the underside. Here. That is a very good apple pie. Here you go. Jeez, look at that.
She's just a big bit.
So the rest of the plan today is we're going to pack down. then we're going to head back to Anna Bay for some sandboarding. So we'll see you guys there.
Brings us to the end of the episode, and we just had an amazing time sandboarding.
So for those of you who don't know what sandboarding is, it's pretty similar to snowboarding actually, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can either sit down or you can stand up.
Yeah, we chose to sit down, and we might be sort of big girls' blouses doing that, but just worried about, we saw a couple of people fall down pretty hard. Yeah. So we just decided to sit down. It was fast enough actually, wasn't it?
Yeah. So what is a sandboard?
Yeah, so sandboards, I think they make them themselves. They look like they're homemade type things, but they're made of sort of a plastic material. They're shaped similar to a snowboard. The ones that you stand on have foot straps. I think they're probably windsurfing straps is what they look like, or kite surfing straps. And then the ones that we had that you sit down on have this little sort of groove at the front that you lock your feet onto, and then that just helps keep you stable. So we did the sandboarding at the northern end of Stockton Beach, which is where we came in yesterday at Anna Bay. There is an entrance onto the beach there. It is fairly expensive. It was about $60 for both of us, but we did have an amazing time, didn't we? It was really good.
Really, really good. And so the only way you can get up there is by a full drive bus.
Which is part of the which is part of the cost.
Journey,
But how good is that?
It was so fun. It was this camo bus that was 4-wheel drive, and it was going up over dunes and in water crossings, and it was so fun.
Yeah, so it takes about 10 minutes, and that was really good fun. So if anyone's never sort of been in the sand dunes before, you get a very good experience with that. And on the way, we actually got bogged, didn't we, on the way out? Or not bogged, we just struggled up one of the sand dunes. And then when you get out there, they sort of greet you. There is some sort of shaded area, so with some seats, things like that.
And then you start the sandboarding. There's 3 beginner slopes. There's one that's the smallest, and the medium, then quite a big beginner one. And then there's the main slope, which is good fun.
So they give you some basic instruction how to do it, but it's really easy. It's probably a bit more difficult if you try and stand, but when you sit down like we did, you basically just sit on and you shuffle yourself forward. And as the Butler said, we started on the easy ones, didn't we? But we soon went up to the main slope, which is it's pretty big. Apparently, so Stockton Beach is apparently 32 kilometres in length. It's pretty big. And yesterday, when we came in on the beach at the same entrance, we drove down, and the camping ground is on the southern end. Sand dunes are up to 30 metres high, so they're probably not 30 metres high, the ones we went sandboarding on there. I'm guessing now they're probably about 20 metres high, but they are pretty high. Yeah, and then we were at the top, and we just sort of went for it, didn't we? We just pushed ourselves over the edge. It was really funny. You go real fast actually. It's pretty fast. Sometimes you can feel your bum sort of starting to turn a bit, and then you end up with a lot of sand in your face. But we had a really good time. I highly recommend going. It's really good fun. But it was super windy. How windy was it?
Like walking up, it hurt my legs so bad.
We're all sandblasted. We've got sand stuck to us everywhere because we had sunscreen on before, so we feel like we're out of skin like sandpaper at the moment. But no, we had a brilliant time. It's really good fun. It is quite tiring because you have to keep sort of walking back up, but that's okay. We probably did 10 or 15 maybe. 10, maybe a bit more than 10, and we were pretty cooked by that point. It's not too hot today. It's only sort of early 20s, but if that was sort of 30 degrees, that would be, I think that would be pretty harsh. Plus you'd be burning your feet as well.
Yeah,
so it's probably something to bear in mind if you do want to do it on the really super hot days. It's probably not the best day to do it.
I would do it like 20s.
And then the other good thing is, because the bus is coming backwards and forwards, dropping people off, bringing new people, taking people back, you can pretty much just keep hopping on and off, and like, you don't have to wait very long. There's a bus, I think we waited about 10 minutes, and then the bus came with another group of people, so we sort of hopped right back. You can just pay for it there, and then you don't need to book it in advance. There's a few other operators there. Yeah,
and as Lip said, the bus goes back and forth, so you can literally leave whenever you want.
Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the episode. We had an absolutely great time. We're definitely going to come back to Stockton.
And we had a champion weekend, and I hope it's been a good experience for you guys watching it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to go grab some food in a minute. Yeah, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys again soon.
Take it easy, Butlers.
Take it easy, Butler.
See you, Butler.